I pushed it. All right. Leave the match, connecting then in the lobby. All right, what's up, everybody? Davewelike here, playing with Mobcrush Studios. Oh, yeah. We're having a fun time playing Apex. Whoops, I hit the microphone. What you want? What's up, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day in the neighborhood of love. I got a girlfriend now. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Jordan. What's up, everybody? I hope you're having a wonderful day. You can, again, watch me any way you want to. On Facebook, on Mixer, on Twitch, on YouTube, right with the channel name Mobcrush. And now you know. I usually do this on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and now the world is about to meet Davewelike. I am going to kill you all on Apex. Ah, that is magical goodness. All right, let me turn on the Wi-Fi on my phone, okay, y'all? Hey, Zukos, welcome to the Mobcrush stream. First, yes, turning on the Wi-Fi. All right, turning on Wi-Fi. Magically add a connection. Oh, well. Oh, hold on. It's easier to type like this. You can do it too.
Jump in while you're
yeah, excellent. All right.
Hey guys, it's me, Sam Proof.
What?
Well, while Dave's doing that, I'll just take that off my tongue. A few quick announcements. The PUBG Mobile tournament sign-up is still live. It should be, at least.
Fingers crossed.
But the actual tournament is Saturday. Go to smash.gg/PUBGMobile7 to register. It is free to enter. $500 to $1,000 on the line, depending on if you're streaming or not. And we also have Mobcrush sponsorships. So if you have a Mobcrush account, get your friends to go in there, hit the Make Money tab, find the referral thing, get your own referral link, send it out to your friends, and you can make $1 per friend that signs up and streams. $50 minimum payout. And now Davewelike.
What? That sounds cool.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back, everybody. All right, so I figured it all out. Oh, it crashed. Did it really? Oh, well, I'll have to give up on that idea. Maybe it's the Wi-Fi. Oh, well. Anyway, what's up, what's up, what's up? All right, my teammates have left me. Hey, what up, Shammy? How you doing? Welcome back, welcome back. Hey, hey, how you doing? All right, where are you streaming from? You're on Facebook. Zukos is on YouTube. Welcome, children, welcome. I can do this. I can do so many things. You know what? Let's do that thing that we do. Agree to this Wi-Fi network. Cool. Alright. Woohoo! I love how you can jump and slide in this game. I am playing Apex on the computer, even though I have an Xbox One controller attached to it, which is pretty dope. You can play with me if you want to squad on up. I'm Mobcrush_company. Do you have Apex as well? Alright, so let's get some guns. I'm trying to just stick with my teammates. Hey, what up, Shining Python? How you doing today? It's not working. There's so many people stealing my guns, man. It's not right. Oh, is that a weapon? Yeah, we finally got a weapon! Weapon unlocked. That took forever. Alright, cool. Ah, dang. Pick up the ammo! Ah, I give up. Oi. Alright, looks like we've got some firefighting going on over there. I'll help my teammates shoot out a smoke bomb somewhere. I don't know if that helped. Hopefully it did. Yeah, Apex is totally fun, isn't it? Oh, you prefer Fortnite? What? What is up with that? I actually tried going back to Fortnite after playing Apex for a while. And I tell you, I just didn't like it so much. I really liked some of the subtle differences here in Apex a little bit more. It really made it feel as if, oh, no ammo, what? All right, it made it feel as if, you know, Fortnite was for kids, Apex is for dads, no, for older people. You know, If you play Fortnite, I'm down. All right. One day we'll try out Fortnite as well. I've never played Fortnite on the PC, so I am curious to see how that would turn out. I've always played it on, you know, the PlayStation 4. I have an Xbox One, but I never want to pay for Xbox Live, so that's why I play it on the PlayStation 4. I got some. I didn't. Nope, no ammo. Dang it. I thought I was so close. Can I get ammo? How can I be a valuable asset to my team if I can't find ammo? I am the worst player of Apex. I don't, you know, maybe not the worst. Maybe second to the worst. Oh, cool. He's got somebody or something. Oh, cool. Extra body ammo. What you want? Baby, I got it. Oh, that's what I like. Invite me. How do I invite you? Thank you. You have Apex yourself? I thought you wanted to only play Fortnite. What is this? What a twist. Alright, cool. Finally, something decent. Yes. I can't see you playing. Why did nobody tell me this? I always forget. We're gonna go ahead and stop the intro. Dave, we like games, and we're going live. There we go.
I was doing all the other things.
It's fine. There are 50,000 different buttons to play. Thank you all for telling me that.
Moves, Johnny.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We're good. We're still, you know, I'm still getting in the swing of things. Being a professional live streamer, it takes time. Now, we've got one of these cool Stream Deck buttons from Elgato that, well, I don't know if they're still called Elgato, but. Yeah, they are? Okay. I got a press release saying, like, they changed their name. Yeah, but that might have been them branching out into a different company or whatever. It don't matter none. Oh my god, finally! I did it right! Maybe that's why nobody watched me last live stream too. What's this? Ooh, select fire. What's this? What's this? There's magic everywhere. Alright. What else we got? Nothing! Bazanga. Nope, that's all worthless. Gosh, my teammates, they don't like me or something. I thought you guys just wanted to build a snowman. Alright, don't need that helmet. They're like taking everything for themselves. It's not right. Sharing is caring, bros. I just gotta get in front of them. I mean, at the end of the day, it's better probably that they have everything good. So, they're probably better players, but it's fine. Don't judge me. Uh-oh. Nobody's there. Is there somebody here? What's going on? I don't see anybody. Yeah, they're firing. Oh, there he is. Got some hits. I don't know if I'll make it. Sweet. Yeah, baby. There you go. I did it. Did I help my teammates out at all? I doubt it. It really doesn't seem like I did anything there. But it's a thought that counts sometimes. I'm playing. Oh, no! I am playing on the PC at the moment, actually. Dang, I'm down, bros. Closing the door. Revive me! No, did he give up on me? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hey, Shining, how you doing today? I'm dying. Ah! Crap. Oh, game over. Man. I tried so hard there. One day I'll be a big boy. What's up, everybody? Having a wonderful day? I love pushing buttons. They're wonderful. Leave the match. Get out of here. R.I.P. Thank you. Thank you. Send me flowers. Bro, you're so funny. Oh. Thank you for being here. My only viewer on Facebook, apparently. But there is another person also on YouTube. If you join your powers, you might have somebody to chat with. How'd you all find out about Mobcrush, broskies? I'm here. I'm everywhere. Oh, my goodness. And Sam Proof is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! All right. Anyway, what are you... What?
Literally.
Literally. Literally. Don't worry, be happy. I'm trying my best, Mom. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's hard, man. I don't know how you're good at this game. Nobody is. Except for the best people. Hey, Javier! Hello! I wanted to play Add Me. I'm like, Javier. Oh, that's your name, bro? You can add me. Why don't you add me? We're Mobcrush_company. You can add me if you want. And maybe that'll work. Will it work, Sam? I don't know. I'm sorry. If you're still here, make sure to holler at me when I die in 5 minutes from now. And then we will have you come on by and play with us. Are you playing on the PC as well? Bangalore. That's the character that I like the most. I love throwing those smoke grenades, you know? Bro, did you fall in love with that button? Yes! How could I not? So much love. Alright. Mobcrush_company on Apex Legends. And now you know. Here we go. Here we go. We can do it. I believe in us. Hannah Montana. We're going down. That's what she said. Alright, here we go. Yeah, so I really, honestly, I like this area that we're going to. Because there's lots of crates and loot. But of course, a lot of people do end up going over here too. So it's kind of a problem if you don't get the weapons. Oh, he's down. Do not go that way. Let's not go over there. That's my friend. We're best friends. He saved my life once. Alright. What I got? Worthless. Alright, finally got a gun. Alright, let's try and revive our bro. Bro, you can do it! You can do it! I'm trying! Ah! Oh, I'm shooting my own friend. It's okay. I'm out of ammo. What? What's going on, man? Don't die on me. If I could kill you, I would. Oh! Oh! I'm just throwing. I can't see anything. It's great. It's wonderful. Both of my teammates are down. I told you it'd only take me 5 minutes to die. Where'd my teammate go? Ah, you bastard. Ah, okay. There was no way that I could get out of that situation. As I said, I like that particular area. But at the same time, let's be real. It stinks. It stinks in here. I love Rocky. Anyway, yo, Adrian, let's go fly a kite, shall we? So who wanted to go ahead and play? Javier, are you ready? Are you ready to do this? Do you want to join the squad? Squad up. If I click on invite friends, but I don't have any friends. My party privacy is open, so if you add me, you should be able to play with me. But I have no friends. No friends online. It's okay. It's all good. It doesn't matter. All right, let's get back into the game. One day somebody will play with me, right, Dad? No shield. What's your Apex name? It's the same thing that I've been saying for the past half an hour. Mobcrush_company. So you can go ahead and add us. It says so also right there. Bruh. Yes. So add me. Party's open if any of you want to join. Buffering. The buffering goodness. Oh, man. Oh, well. Let me get rid of that app. Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it, do. Alright. What's up, what's up, what's up? What do y'all do today? Have a fun day in the neighborhood? I don't play Apex. I play Fortnite. I know, dude. I know you do. What's your, like, skill level on Fortnite? Like, just because you play Fortnite, that doesn't mean that you're good.
Is it mostly Fort or mostly night?
Is it Yes, is it most... I love having forts. Forts are fun. They're great. You know, on a rainy, stormy night, build a fort castle. Ah, my goodness. So Fortnite is where it's at, bros. No love for Apex. Yeah, I was wondering, the very first live stream that I did, I played League of Legends. And so for you all, would you prefer to see that? I mean, right now it seems like it's 50-50 between one person plays Apex, the other person plays Fortnite. What kind of games would you like to see me play? A game that I'd be good at? Oh, I don't know if that's possible. I'm good at SimCity 2000. Command & Conquer, Red Alert 2. That's what I play when I go home. I love that game. It's so much fun. I had this one match that took an hour and 30 minutes to play against a computer. I don't know why. I was just like not able to do it. Resource management. Yo, where's come on, bro. Are we going? Are we doing anything? Is he playing? This is why I always get afraid when somebody else is the jump master. Hello. Looks like I'll be dead soon. Great. Fortnite for sure. Alright, maybe we'll do that next time. Okay, he's not going, right? Okay, finally he went. Jeez. He clearly has some sort of desire to go into the swampland. Oh, are we going into the burned forest? Man.
Let's go have a coughing fit.
Alright, go for it. Alright, let's... Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going? Let's find something, you know what I'm saying? Yes! Body armor! That's what we're talking about. Where are the weapons? Alright, finally I got a pistol. Oh, thank you very much. Hi. So where's our other teammate? He's... We have three of them. One's over there. Okay, one's way over there. How'd he get over there? The magic of teleportation. How's your days going? Everyone having a wonderful day in the neighborhood? I'm glad to hear it. Where's that from? Oh wow, look at that wonderful waterfall. That's beautiful. And I still have no ammo. God, look at that. That's cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, where we going, 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 where we going. I've got a sight set on you. Let's scope it out. Bazinga! Alright. Everybody left me in the chat room. Nobody wants to watch me. Why? Where did you go, people? Hey, well, we will not be able to play because you are an... What? I'm not playing on the Xbox. I swear I'm playing on the PC. Is that why? What? How do you have it, Javier? What console do you have? Is that what it says? It actually says that, oh, you can't play with this guy? How strange. Dang it. I'm so sorry. It's gotta be okay, though. No, it's not. Is that better? Yeah, I think he's on a console. Yeah. It's a bummer. What can you do? You know, it's free. Just said. You could download it on your PC if you have one. I already have. Okay. It's being a while. I didn't see you pressing that button. I know. I got it. I know what buttons to press, Mom. Thanks. Thanks for the encouragement. You could do it, kid. Go, Dave, go. We believe in you. Sometimes you just have to. I can't believe in myself, though. I need a love potion. Number 9. Where is everybody? So we do have a shield or a vest. I don't have a helmet, though. That's all worthless. Worthless, I say. I vomit in your face. What's this? Skull rifling. Oh, I heard a little explosion of love. Alright, looks like we're fine. Open sesame! Whee! I love the zip lines. That's probably like the best part of this entire game. I'm still waiting on... Oh, cool. That's a nice helmet. I'm still waiting on, like, the mechs to show up or some kind of vehicle to show up in this game. In Fortnite, they finally revealed airplanes, right? And that was pretty darn cool. I do like myself some airplanes. And Bad Company too, that's what I always would fly. What? I don't need that one. Alright. Where's my other gun? There it is. Keep going. You will be a big streamer. You big boy. Big boy. Thank you so much. Please keep feeding me candy and pizza. That is how I will grow and conquer the world. Jump. Jump. Yeah, I'm Davewelike. If you haven't or would like to follow me, if you haven't already, hit me up on my social media, people. That way you know what I'm doing next, which is, I don't know what I'm doing in my life. Do you know what you're doing in your life? I don't know. It's okay, though. Yeah. I do this on Thursdays. That much I know. It's pretty fun. I'm still trying to, like, get the game going that I feel most comfortable playing. I'm doing great so far because I've survived, right? Apex is not about, like, you know, blasting people away. It's just about running around and surviving. I do find that, like, Fortnite has way more people playing, I think. Or at least so it feels on a map. Because Apex is so huge. And I never can find anybody until, like, 2 seconds later. Oh, I'm dead. What? What's this guy? Well, okay. Is it... What? Oh, radioactive material. Got it. We shouldn't punch that. Okay. I feel funny. Alright. Oh, back to the game! Yo, what's up with that? Question is, which teammate's better? So, Slick Guy, well, that Ever Jenny has purple body armor, I believe. So, might want to stick with her. She might outlive Slickmeister. Health! Ah, yeah! Alright, so we still have that helmet. Alright, cool. Hey, Evan, how you doing? Welcome back. Thanks for being here. Sam, you in the chat? Yes, he is there. He is everywhere. Evan's chatting with me on mobcrush.com. Yeah, that's kind of the fun thing that with Mobcrush is that you can stream anywhere you want to. Just the way you like it. Jump! You gotta believe in yourself, Dave. Jump. One of the things that kills me... Oh! Oh no! Oh no! Danger! Danger! Holster! Holster that weapon. Okay. We're okay. Wow. She made it too. Cool. Healing up. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're watching Gremlins too. You know, I was just talking about Gremlins, and it's a great movie, isn't it? Which one's better, though? That's a big question. Gremlins 1, Gremlins 2. They feel very different. Like Gremlins 1, it has comedy in it, but it's more of a horror movie. And then Gremlins 2 is totally comedy. Hey, take the R99. Where was that? I'm blind. I do not see it. Did they hand me something? I know what to do. What's up, Zachariah? Am I saying your name? I'll just call you Zach. It's easier to say. What's up? How you doing today, Zach? Thank you for being here on this beautiful day on the Mobcrush live stream where Davewelike learns to play Apex. You suck, bro. Oh, thanks. What? What? So nice. Gremlins rules. Gizmo's the best. Isn't he? Isn't he? Alright. He's so cute. Isn't it Howie Mandel who voices Gizmo? It's a little strange. A little strange. But it's fine. Yeah, I want these tanks to go live. When can I go inside of you? Not going to continue with that joke. Body armor, yes! Alright, cool. I am blue, abadee. What are we doing today? I don't know what that means. A super skull rifle piercing. Nice. Keep going, and yeah, call me Zach. All right, so much easier, Zach. How you doing today, Zach? Welcome. Zach is chatting with me on Facebook. All right, we are out of the circle of love, the circle of trust. I'm I guess we have a minute and 40 seconds or so before it actually matters. Holster. I was playing the Mortal Kombat 11 beta. Have any of you played it yet? Oh, dang! I heard an explosion. Okay, well, what's he doing over there? Isn't he getting hurt? Slicker! Slick, no! Save yourself, Slick. We need you, man! Alright, he's okay. Keep going. Keep going and going and going. Say, what? How y'all doing on this magical Thursday? That's a day, isn't it? A day that we will kill, apparently, Evan. Nice. I'm working on it, but nobody's around. That's the beauty of Apex. Hi, it's a big open world where there's nothing to do. You gotta find somebody. Make more death. I'm trying. You think it's easy, man? Whee! All the way home. Ow. I'm doing good, too. Having a fun day in the neighborhood. How could you not when you're playing video games, right? Oh, if you stink at the video game or, you know, actually video games are pretty stressful. You know, to play a video game right before you go to sleep, it's like your heart will be pounding. Is that a good thing? Yes. Yes, it is. And getting paid. Hey, getting paid. All right. Hey, how are all the drinks? Weren't you drinking last night? Or every night? No, but, or that was you, right? Talking about all the indulgences that you were experiencing. Yes. Oh! Hi! Mine? We're going for it! Hoo-hoo! Hoo-hoo! Run! Run! Get rolling and going! We are barely alive. Shoot it now! Oh, you worthless sack of Jew. Okay. I'm dead. Man, hey. Wee! All the way home. What's doing good? Dave just went wee. Sometimes you have to go wee. Man, that stinks. I tried my best, bros. I tried my best just for you. It didn't work. Oh man. How do I get out of this? I don't want to play with you guys. Or should we wait? I mean, you could recover my banner and then bring me back. Ping, 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 ping. I love pinging and annoying the bejesus out of people. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here. Save me. I didn't know how to play. Nobody likes me. What is that? I'm going to report you. Looks like Ever Jenny might be coming towards me, but nobody wants to. I'm still alive. Nobody cares. Go, Cartman. Ah! It's okay. It's okay. I'm just going to have to leave, right? Where are you? Come on, broskies. I'm that way. You can do it. I believe in you. Nope, I'm dead. Respawn timed out. What? What is that about? Ah! It's okay. Just breathe in and breathe out and in and out. Alright, Battle Pass level 2. Nice. What the hey-ho?
It's ridiculous.
I think so. You don't think so? Alright, alright. To each their own. How do you like that? What? Not reading that. Evan, you almost got me. You almost got me. Should we select a different character? I always wonder, it's like, which one's the best one? I love Bangalore. But, well, like, what kind of a name is that? Bangalore is just fun because you get to help out the situation. You know what I'm saying? If things are getting rough, you just throw in a smoke grenade, and then you can run away to the hills far, far away. Your champion. No, that's my squad. Alright, so we got one person who's killed 94 people. The other person, me, only killed one person. When you have a headshot, you've got to teep. Yes. So there are only 2 people in that championship squad. we might have the upper hand. Or not. Probably not. If you haven't done so already, make sure you sign up for the PUBG mobile tournament. It's open until tomorrow morning. Smash.gg/PUBG Mobile 7. That's the number 7. Alright. Do it now! Hey! Wait, what? Hey, welcome, Evan, and to the Facebook. How you doing? Yeah, we're streaming on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and somewhere else. Mixer, that other website. We love everybody. You can totally join us no matter where it is that you are in the world or what app you enjoy. Going back 'em? Alright. See you on a Mobcrush. Yeah, I have every chat room open, which is one of the cool features that you can do with Mobcrush. It sucks them all in. I swear, everybody takes all the weapons. Nobody wants me to play the game. It's okay. Cool. Excellent. Party on, dude. That's great. Sweet. Now I'm ready. Feeling love tonight. What we got over here? Breathe in and out, and in and out. Helmet! Yeah! Boy! Now I have Facebook, YouTube, and MC. What's an MC? You mean a mixer? MX? Right? Or Mobcrush. Boosh! Yeah, I got it. I got it. Here we go. Here we go. Ooh, nice. Oh, that's kind of fun, too. Dude. What? I'm trying, bro. I'm trying to kill everybody. Sniping is fun in this game. I don't know. Should I have picked up the sniper? You never know. You know, that guy does not have body armor. Let me tell him that there's some body armor here. Ping it! Ping it! Ping it! Headshot. Did I tell them that there's an enemy there? Oops. I'm a sniper always. Nice. Do you do the quick scoping and Call of Duty and all that stuff? That is cheating. I know. Kill him from a distance. Hey, it takes practice to do that. I like running and gunning. It's always fun to do. Then you die, then you respawn. Oh wait, you don't do that in these games. It takes forever to respawn. You can't, like, why? Why do I have to begin a new match? I do want to know the backstory of how they came up with the idea of Fortnite and Apex, where all these battle royale games came from. Contact. It's about to get hot in here. 9 out of 10, I think. Probably. Alright, I'm working on it. I'm working on it, man. I'm going. Oh, dang. I'm on my way. And you have my axe. Give me a second. Give me a second. So I'm the last person alive in my squad. That is not a good sign, actually. Oh, ah, damn it. Did I get it? Yeah! Ah! Oh, well. I'm a team player, what can I say? Who was sitting around going, you know what this shooting game needs? Baloney! Yes, building shit. Yeah, I agree. I agree. No, that's Minecraft, bro. That's why we got the Minecraft. Whoa. This is awesome. Look at this. I'm flapping my wings. Quack, quack, quack. We're not going to do that. How y'all doing today? Having a wonderful day in the neighborhood? Cheers. Make sure to drink plenty of fluids. Hey, what up, RP Mola? I think I followed you from the Names X stream earlier today. Excellent. Thank you for following us. How you doing today? I'm Davewelike, streaming live on the Mobcrush. Oh, you're on Mixer. Yeah, cool. How's Mixer today? Yeah, I'm streaming everywhere across the internet. All the good websites. The Facebook, the YouTube, all that jazz. As well as Mixer and Twitch. Through the powers of Mobcrush. You use it yourself? Hey, what up? Bubbla24. Howdy-ho. What's up with you? I hope you're having a wonderful day in the neighborhood. And if you're not, then enjoy this. Seizure. My goodness. What's that? Twitch? Yeah. I don't know what Twitch is either. I've never heard of it. It's a thing. Is it? I'm twitching, right? Yeah, we are Mobcrush. You can check us out across the interwebs. I'm Davewelike. If you want to tweet me, Facebook me later, Instagram me, DM me, you know what I'm saying? Don't send me that, though. You know where my mind went? Don't send me that. I'm Davewelike on Twitch as well, if you ever want to chill and talk live on the internet. I'm on YouTube. Every place. And that's my name, broskies. But yeah, Mobcrush is also sandproof. He is the man behind the scenes on over here. A big YouTube star. Sandproof. Look him up if you haven't done so already. And this is a message about nothing. But I thought it told me something, though. Alright, so I am terrible at Apex, but thank you all for being here and watching. Me hungry. Oh! Wait, that's not my stomach. I can't show you it, though. I'm so... There, wait. Me hunger. Oh, my kidneys. What do you... What do our accounts auto-follow Mobcrush? Why? Is that supposed to be a why? Well, do they auto-follow Mobcrush? Yes. They do. That way you know when we go live, because we do a lot of streaming ourselves in the studio, the Mobcrush studio, as well as we feature you all as well. Your magical streams. So hopefully you do streaming yourself and you kick some ass in the game. Happy sunbreak. Sandproof morning coffee. Yes, or excuse me, let me say it right. Sandproof coffee morning live. There you go. There you go. Rules! Who doesn't love coffee in the morning? I stream Fortnite. Nice. Are you actually good at it? What are your tips for being good at Fortnite? I'd love to know. I play Fortnite on my PlayStation 4, but man, am I terrible at it. Although I love flying. Flying is the best. Fly me to the... I don't need a grenade. That ain't coffee, Dave. That was vodka. Yes. Yes, it was. Bubble. PC, mobile. Yeah, how do you play? Oh, cool. It's, just ammo. Worthless. Okay, come on. I got this. I know where to... Nope. I cannot... Oh, guns! Excellent. If that is... I am Santa. I play on the... You play on the iPad? Wow. What's it like to play on the iPad? Which one should I go with? Hey, what up, Molly? How you doing today? To be good at Fortnite, one must extremely be hyper. Yeah, probably. Ah! Yeah. According to the rules on YouTube, you have to be very hyper in order to play Fortnite. Wow, look at all this trash. That's nasty. 99 wins. Whoa. What's your stream name so people can watch you? Hello, hey Ungly, how you doing today? Ungly's watching on YouTube. We've got a Twitch viewer, Molly. Hi. Oh, you're on YouTube too? Yeah. We're Mobcrush. We're everywhere. Any way you want it, that's the way you need. Dustin Anderson says, my tip at being good at Fortnite is just don't play Fortnite. That's why we're playing Apex. Thanks, Dustin, for that wonderful tip. What you mean? I don't know. Oh, you just came from Mixer. Nice. Oh, okay. Are you the Mixer guy? How you doing? Having a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Yes. I've got a blue gun. Not that that helps. I don't know. Is that a good gun? Apex is awesome. Oh, I love it, right? It's fun. I love Titanfall, though. I think I still like Titanfall a little bit more than Apex. Sorry. Hey, what up, Solo? LKD70. Yo, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. Please come back again. Don't leave me here. Yo, Davewelike in the house, streaming some Apex. What do you mean by your stream name? Like, my personal account is Davewelike. And, but we're streaming on Mobcrush right now. Hey, gang, what's up? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Come on, stay on target. Whee! It's just terrible on the knees, though, you know, landing like that. It's absolute. You're watching from the iPad. How does the video look? Does it look great? Oh no, I hear firing out there. I don't want to go. I will not go. Turn the lights off. Carry me home. How many followers do I have on my account? 0. You could be my #1. Oh, I like this. What? 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 Oh, there he is. I found him. Somebody's really angry. They killed me. Hey, I'm completely new here. Hey, Molly. Welcome to the YouTube. How you doing today? Having a wonderful day in the neighborhood? Yeah. All right. People, we're doing it live. Making it happen. I'm completely new. I'm Dad. Hi, Dad. I love pushing buttons. Who doesn't love that? Sam, can you send Dave's PS4 name in Discord? I lost it. It's okay. It's all good, man. Don't worry. I'm terrible at this game. I survived for 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Wow. A new achievement. I got 21 followers. Nice! It makes me dizzy. I know it does. I'm so sorry. I should not be doing that. I should be doing. I should not. I won't. But I might. But I won't. I'll get him to post it later. Alright, cool. Yeah, my Xbox One is Davewelike. But that is not my PlayStation 1. And now you know. Oh my god. Oh, stretch it. And stretch. Chair stretching. Breathe in. How are you going to do that? I have no idea. No idea. Put a gun to my head. Type it in the Discord, Dave. Are you good at Fortnite? No, I'm terrible at Fortnite. Just as bad at Fortnite as I am on this game. What's this game playing? Apex? That one? But I did play Call of Duty, Black Ops. You know, what is it? Black Down? I don't know what the heck. Their Battle Royale game. I thought that was pretty cool. I like that one. I'm taking a little break from live streams. What? Wait, you're not live streaming yourself? Or, like, you're still enjoying live streams, though, right? You think this makes you dizzy? Try watching Super Smash Bros. Yes, that's usually streamed on Fridays, right? Question mark. Awkward.
Yes.
Silence.
Sorry, yes.
It's fine. Yes. I'm not live streaming for a while. Oh, okay. What games do you usually live stream when you do, though? Why the hiatus as well? Sambers, that's you on Mobcrush YouTube? Yes. Sam is behind the scenes right now, making it happen on 50 different platforms. It's wonderful. Chatting with everybody. What? I'm controlling all the Mobcrush accounts. With great power comes great responsibility. Cowabunga. Random games. Nice, yeah. Yeah, I'm usually more of a solo adventure, action adventure. What? Okay. I can't wait for the live tomorrow. You a Smash Bros fan? Oh, smoke out! I did not mean to do that. I finally got a gun the minute that I landed. That's a first. Yes, dude, that's a movie. Hey, yeah. Dude, that where to movie quote. Dude, I'm trying to read your sentence there, but I'm not really sure what the point. What did you mean by that? Dude, that where movie quote us. Quotes, kind of. Yeah. Hey, so, kind of. Huh. Oh, yeah. The ultimate weapon. I'm not really sure, actually. Use code VOID in Fortnite item shop. Yeah. Oh, yes. 2 movie quotes. There you go. I get what you said now. That's what a parody is called. You just merge everything together. It's fine. I love parodies. What's your favorite parody? Up, down, up, down, up, down. Spider-Man and the Turtles. Oh, yeah. Right? Thank you. You got some stubs on your Samsung keyboard over there? Doing it right. Woohoo! This is the best part of the entire game. Oops. This is the best part of the entire game, though. Zipping, zipping, and rolling. Alright, well, all my teammates are down there, so we'll zip. Diddy-doo-dah, zippity-yay. No, my fingers are big. Oh, got it. Oh! Crashing into each other. Okay, we're going this way now. Zippity-doo-dah. What is your mob crush? Davewelike. You should be able to add me. If it works. Fingers crossed. I think that's what I made it. Sam says, I'm sure. Really? Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, that's me. Boom! You can add me on Mobcrush as well. Davewelike.
I didn't think they were directly asking you that question. I thought it was like a tongue-in-cheek, what's your crush?
I have so many crushes in the world.
But specifically on Mobcrush.
Right. I get confused with that one too, yes. I am following. Thank you. Are you my first follower on Mobcrush? Got it. Excellent. How many followers do I have on Mobcrush? I don't think I have many. All right. We're moving on up in the world. Woohoo!
2 now.
Let's go. Fly me to the moon. Da, 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 da. I'm terrible at this game. See you later. Have a wonderful day. Do what you gotta do, Bubla. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next time, alright? Oh, whoa. I killed somebody! I did it! I hope you got that on instant replay. Yes! I'm down 2, but it's fine. Woo! Yeah, baby, I like it like that. Alright, my goodness, that was great. 4 girls in a pool. Alright, that sounds pretty dope. Dope. Doop, doop, boom. Man, that was awesome. I smoked him. No. What? It's okay. It's okay to die, right? It's alright. It's all good. Just gotta start it up again. It's what I've learned from video games. On Mobcrush, it's a live stream. Oh, dang. Alright. I have not seen that live stream. It gives me a headache. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me just do it one more time. How you doing today? Did you take your aspirin? You need some, apparently, to begin your day right on the Davewelike Mobcrush stream. Are you talking about Ignite House live stream? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, they're live right now. Dave Blazarian. You know Dave Blazarian? He's like the hipster, douchey version of the Playboy Mansion
Oh,
in modern social media world, and they stream on Mobcrush.
okay.
4 girls in a pool. That's your competition.
I can't compete with that.
Ironically, they don't do great.
Really? That's so
Twitch has
strange.
been very, because they also multi-guest, and Twitch has been very, this doesn't belong here.
Right.
The community, not the...
Yeah, okay. But where does it belong?
extravaganza?
Okay, alright. I didn't say it. It's a great idea, though.
Yeah. I mean, they've got millions of followers. So
Oh, they do. Okay.
They're great.
Yeah. Just girls sitting in the pool. Alright. Might have to check it out later. Alone. When it's dark. Alright. Could I go down? Oh! A pink body shield. Yes. The power is mine. Woohoo! Sorry. Alright, I always get carried away in Apex when I don't need to be. I think my phone beeped. What else I got? Yes. That's more epic. Oh, cool. Look at that. I can shoot you from a distance, bro. Let's roll. Yeah, it's a big Instagram influencer who branched out to basically make their own Playboy legacy, but with CBD. Oh. That's a good sponsor behind any live stream, I think. Yeah. Did you have your oil today? Come on. Where is everybody? I will crush you like a bug. Yeah, I got no shield for you guys. Sorry about that. Haven't found anything yet. Hopefully we will. A little, oh, here's it. I don't want that. Share the helmet. They're hiding. Ooh, a triple take. Oh, actually, I have that. Need that ammo, bro. Do I have that? What happened to my second gun? Did I throw it? What? Hey, what up, Shining Python? How you doing? Welcome back. Where is he? Oh, what a hit. Miss by a mile away. He's in there still, right? I can't believe I missed. How did I miss that? They're scared of Dave. Yeah, I'm very threatening. Oh, man. Ah. Meow. Alright, this is not going to end well for Dave. I guarantee you it. He went up. Yeah, he must have. But I can't get him, you know? Ah, yeah, he's way up there. Dang. Wasn't it 47 meters, a shark movie? That was kind of cool. Did you see that? There he is! Oh! I got him once. Yeah, there. I want to ping him, so... Well, actually, no. I have no more teammates. They're all dead. Oh, this is so hard. He found me now. I'm dead. Hey, Shrek. Oh, you changed your name, bro. Cool. Hey, Shrek Games. Welcome back. Oh, this is worthless. What is going on? I can't see. Whee! I got this. I know what to do. Thank you for following, bro. Hey, man. Hey, Amar. How you doing today? I'm failing at life, man. It's okay. I got this. Good live, man. If you return, nice. Thank you. Hey, how's it going on Mixer, man? Thank you for following us on Mixer. We are Mobcrush. You can check us out Mixer, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. We're streaming all over the place. That's the beauty of using Mixer to broadcast your games live on the internet. Wow, did you see how fat that guy was? Jabba the Hutt. R.I.P. Dave. And now you guys are dizzy. Alright. Man. Alright, we were 10th out of 12. My entire squad was dead, so what was I going to do? It's real hard to find a squad that actually knows what they're doing. Still on the PC. Yes, exactly. That's how we're streaming live today. Shrek. Why'd you change your name, Shrek? What was the inspiration behind Shining Python 29? Sam has to take those buttons away. No! He's the one that introduced them to me. Yes. Why do you not like my buttons? We are the button people. Xbox name. Oh, that's your Xbox name. Nice.
It's actually 258.
Oh, man. All right, so at 3 p.m. they're going to be streaming?
I'll check if they're going, but I didn't start anything.
Yeah, okay. You just advanced to level 1. Hey, what up, Botizimo? How you doing today? Welcome to the live stream. Oh, that's the bot. But then I will not talk to you, bot. I will not. But I want to advance to level 1. Clicky, clack, 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 clicky. I do want you all to stick around, though, because Nicole and Niraj will be joining us to play Geogusser with the chat room. And we'll be down for a quick minute or so, and then be back with a new stream. So come see who's smarter, you or the Mobcrush employees.
Keep doing what you're doing until
But we'll do it in a little bit, maybe after this match or so. They have to arrive, so we're still going. I can't cram down that hole. Oh no! I don't want to get in there then. Oh, cool. He figured it out. He killed it. He's a good player. All right. Oh, no, no, no. Keep running. Keep running, bro. Keep running. Keep running. All right, let's go for it. It's 5 p.m. where you are? Oh, okay. So that's Middle America, based on my math and calculations? I believe so. Yeah, 3 p.m. on the West Coast, 6 p.m. on the East Coast. Yeah, I don't have shields or health for you, man. I'm sorry. In Minnesota! How's Minnesota going? Isn't it freezing over there still? It's gotta be. There's no way that it's still not. Although spring has sprung on over here, I'll tell you that much. There's so many flowers. And oh, cool. Well, let me get that shield, get the helmet. Jump! Oh, I couldn't reach it. It's warm. Meaning like it's 30 degrees. Alright, have a wonderful sleep, Evan. Good night. Thank you for being here, though. I know I'm exhausting to watch, right? Oh, when is Dave gonna kill somebody? Oh, I'm working on it. Bye. It's a spring worm. Oh, okay. Hey, what up, Abish? How you doing today? Thanks for watching. I'm playing some Apex right now. We're going to be switching on over in a couple minutes. So give it some time. And you'll see some new faces on over here. Dude, it's 11 p.m. Whoa, where are you from again? Are you in the UK? I can't remember.
Right here.
Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go. So we're going to be switching on over right now. So don't go anywhere. We're going to start a new stream in just a few seconds with Nicole and Niraj. So see y'all next time.
Bye.